Come on. Come on. Before I switched to Brightspeed fiber internet, things like slow speeds and random dead spots really brought out the troll in me. I mean, I spent hours causing trouble. But then I switched to Brightspeed's fast, reliable fiber internet, and the rest is sunshine and unicorns. Looks amazing, Barbara.
Ultra-fast, Brightspeed fiber internet. Switch to the bright side. What motivated me to join was actually my friend Rodrigo, which is no need dude, and he invited me, he sent me the whole info. After that, I just noticed that there was also money involved, and I'm pretty good at the game, so I thought maybe it's a chance for me to make some money and help out my family.
My experience as a racer for the Formula STEM Esports Cup has been pretty good. I think that it really motivated me to practice more, way more than I would have ever thought of practicing, and of course meeting new people that like to race as well.
I like racing for fun. The money added in is a bit of a bonus, but I primarily enjoy for the racing product.
As my first time in a simulator, I find it a really good community. The drivers are really clean driving. You know, I feel like I'm actually in Formula One. Like, this is fantastic, man. I really love this, and I really look forward to getting into the playoffs so I can continue here, man.
Welcome back to the Formula STEM Esports Cup presented by Brightspeed Fiber Internet. We appreciate your patience as we work through a slight technical difficulty. It seems the Las Vegas Lights lane might have tripped a breaker.
Oh, yeah, but they're back as well. Beautiful and lighted city of Las Vegas is going to be even more beautiful when it comes to getting to GP and other life.
Yeah, and listen, TJ, as far as the qualifying session goes, let's reflect on it because it was something special. No need dude top racing the top two, but it took top racing a little bit to actually get to that mark.
Yeah, Top Racing, I'm pulling back up the results so I can be accurate here. Top Racing was P5 in Q1, P5 in Q2, and then finally broke through with a 130.881 to actually go into Q2 go into P2 when it mattered the most in Q3. So Top Racing, after all of the trials and tribulations, did a really good job in qualifying. Stayed in contention, then set an absolute banger lap time. But you can't talk about Top Racing without talking about his championship rival in Nodi Dude, who set a 130.3 bear.
Yeah, the very last second as well as his very last lap. So he's only getting better as time goes on, and that seems to be a regular trend with No Need Dude. So I'm starting to worry. That you guys are absolutely right here. One need that I did want to point out as well was Squeaky Hardware sat in third place basically the entirety of this time. We talked about his improvement over the course of the season. Lane, break it down for us. He's never been driving any better until this championship race. I mean, he's been improving like crazy.
Oh, he's an amazing driver. I mean, he has been within the top 5 during the entire season, and just was out of this leader pack, let's put it this way, at Monza GP when he was a P10. So listen, P10 is still amazing when it comes to fighting those talented drivers. Squeaky Hardware evolved so much also on the decisions when it comes to pit stops and tire strategies as well. And I'm super glad, Bear, that you mentioned him, because we're going to be looking into a potential battle here between Top Racing and No Need Dude, but also Illegal Monkey versus Squeaky Hardware, as we saw in the season. So these 4 guys actually, to me, along with Joseph, obviously, are going to be fighting for the championship.
Illegal Monkey and Joseph right on cue are going to be number 4 and 5. 24 Kid King, the birthday boy, there at number 6. And TJ, Siegel's done it. He's back in 7th place after the qualifying session.
Everything is good. Everything is great. That's exactly how it should be. That means we're set for a totally normal race, guys, right? No issues, right? It's not like I'm sick and we lost power on broadcast. No, nothing at all, right? No, so, hey, at least out of all the craziness and how bad I feel, at least Siegel got P7. So life is good as of right now.
Dylan was on the intermediate tires as well throughout the first couple of qualifying sessions, Lane. So I want to get your thoughts. He was just saving some of those soft tires. He did eventually place 8th in the starting grid here.
Yeah, as Dylan, bringing that quality, and like I said before, he was the P7 on Silverstone. Again, now, fighting versus the big dogs and big boys in this occasion, it's going to be great to see how he's going to step up. Again, he didn't have a lot of chances to mature his own gameplay during the season because of his absences to the GP, but I'm seeing that he doesn't need that at all. He's one of those burst drivers, I'm going to define this way, who can just show up and do a lot.
Well, Mile Proto, of course, had a little bit of a rough qualifying session there. TJ, so the last point I want to make here is the bounce back there is going to take a lot of effort and a mountain to climb there.
Yeah, Mile is easily the most shocking episode of the entire GP so far. Sits at P14 currently, heading into the actual GP. So it is Vegas. There is a lot of overtaking opportunities, but with how chaotic things have been with collisions, with the safety car, with the formation lap, there's still a lot that could go wrong. So there is one thing I think Mile can do. I think you have no choice. You need to go hard tires, and you need to be consistently better than the rest of the grid, which you know you can do, at least up to like the top 5, top 3. But all those seconds you can gain on those hard tires is going to matter later in the race. And it's a 50% race too, so the hard tires could be very useful.
Yeah, they could be. And then Jakai and Mao about halfway through, so they're not going to get clean air for quite a while. And even when they do, it means that they're not in that DRS zone lane. So kind of a pick your poison at that point in time. We're just hoping for something to kind of open up at that point, yeah?
Yes, I think they're going to be having to grasp to whatever they find in the way. We're talking about a very solid leading pack of drivers here. So, as you posed, Jukai and Mao, they're going to have to do their superb best, not only the best that they could imagine, but also dealing with the racetrack itself. So it is going to be their ultimate chance here to make it beautiful.
1,000%. Last kind of notes before we get into this race, Las Vegas. Some notes to take out of it were, it's not just about Sector 2, it's the entire lap as a whole. So TJ, again, focal points we've already talked about, but is there anything else that you want to kind of toss in here as far as the track goes before we get going?
Well, I'm glad you said the whole lap, because yes, it is the whole lap, but it's also 25 whole laps, including some of the fastest, sharpest turns you can ask for in the entire calendar. So there's a lot going into this race. Not only do you have to make your moves and make your strategy calls, but you just have to survive for 25 laps and make sure you don't miss a mark at least one time. And that's all it could take for your front wing to be destroyed, for your wheel to fall off, for your car to flip over. Who knows what could happen? But with this long of a race, truly it is anybody's game. But it also means that for the top of the grid, it is that much more important that you start strong, you get your gaps, you break the DRS chain, and then you go. And then from there, we'll see how the pit strategies come out. But there's a lot of pressure no matter who you are, because anything can happen.
Tight racetrack lane. It's going to be different than qualifying, where you have basically your own space there. So we'll get things going here momentarily. So Lane, last quick comments as far as how you have to stay out of trouble and make sure that you're clear throughout these corners.
Well, be patient, because you gotta definitely get in correctly into the turns. As we all could see from the qualifying sessions, you cannot allow or afford to hit after exiting the turns. That's gonna be paramount. If you just lose one of those turns or lose one of those apex, you're gonna be maybe condemning your whole lap time.
Well, we've arrived at the final test, 25 laps on one of the world's most thrilling tracks. This isn't just a race, it's the championship. Every move, every pit, every mistake matters. This is how champions are made. It is time for the formation lap. Boys, I will see you on the other side of this one.
$4,000 on the line. It has been an 8-week season, and it all comes down to one more race lane.
Oh yeah, here we are after the entire season rolling, after all those fights, all the madness we saw in different scenarios and stages. We're gonna be seeing the formation lap take its own shape over here today. I'm super excited to already check on those tire options. And yes, no need, dude. Illegal Monkey, Mao, and Dog Jr. beginning with those hards. And I mean, I would be expecting to see Mayo Proto bringing them, but he's disqualified from what we can see. And Dog Jr. is not entirely news. Seeing him, bringing those hearts to begin with. So let's see how things gonna be rolling as time moves along. But expectations here on the table, TJ, from your side, because when it comes from me, I'm expecting to see still a very solid performance by Nonidu, Top Racing, and one of those 3 guys that comes after.
I mean, we've talked about this story before. Top Racing has made the decision to try and undercut the strategy of No Need Dude. But Top Racing actually has to show the pace and the structure of the strategy to make sure that move happens, or else No Need Dude will be gone quicker than a flash, like he's done time and time again. But at the end of the day, we had 6 regular season races, and those 2 each won 3 of them. So this rivalry is really as heated and as professional as it can get. And as we watch Saturn and Nico and the last few drivers finally make their way to the line, Lane, it is almost time for lights out. We are here, thanks to Brightspeed Internet in Las Vegas, for the conclusion of the Formula STEM Esports Cup. The lights of Las Vegas are bright, the sphere is glowing, and the energy is radiating, and the lights are green, going down in the very first straight of the Formula STEM Esports Cup Championship lane.
Here we are underway with those movements already rolling. We have Top Racing leading the pack, and oh, look at that, no need dude falling, dropping so harshly, as we already have Illegal Monkey definitely stepping up with Squeaky Hardware to make his way into the leading pack, and Reinforced Circle, the P7, is trying to become the P4, as we also have Joseph fighting hard, so the first movements are rolling over here. TJ, as we move into the second sector.
This is perfect for Top Racing. You choose the quicker tire, you go ahead and you grab P1, and you have a teammate or at least a friend to work with. You have Squeaky Hardware. This DRS chain can be very dangerous in the next few laps, but also Noni Dude has fallen from P1 all the way down to P5. So a very tough moment for not only them, but Dylan has fallen all the way down to P14 as well. Mile has fallen down as well. So a lot of drivers already have their work cut out for him.
Oh yeah, and when it comes to the leading pack, yeah, Lonely Dude absence is going to be the only factor to be talked about, but we have to also talk about Doug Jr. stepping up into this solid P7 at this point. But James is going to be challenging him so closely as much as Jukai is going to be doing as well. And we have 24 King, the only driver with the soft tires to begin the conversation with TJ, trying to go for that additional grip and those faster laps.
Noni Dude has regained one of the positions down there, but will currently sit down at P5. Squeaky Hardware has also, without DRS, has made the move over Top Racing, and both of them are still holding on to this second gap on Illegal Monkey. But this is also big for Illegal Monkey because you survived the start of the race, you're on the hard tires, and you almost have a second gap to Joseph. So for Illegal Monkey, all he has to do is just keep driving as fast as possible, and now you're going to let Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware fight it out, because at every living turn, it looks like they're going to change positions here.
They are indeed, I agree with you, and we can see the beautiful battle already getting set up between those leading drivers. Now, Top Racing up ahead, but not by a lot. We see half a second of a leadership as this Squeaky Hardware, one of the most aggressive racers we had this season, is gonna be totally chasing him off very closely. We have Top Racing doing an amazing racing so far, a little bit of an oversteering on this last turn over here, absolutely normal, nothing crazy or out of this world, as Top Racing is finally finding his most solid position at this point versus the opponents. Dow Jr. now to enjoy a little bit of this slipstream versus 24 King. Let's see if he's gonna be passing him. This is a very good chance. It's a straight, TJ, as we see 24 King now with not a lot of ERS.
Well, DRS is deployed for both of them. The entire battery is being empty. This is a dive bomb move for Doe Jr. He will punt 24K King into the wall, and we for sure saw damage, and that will be Doe Jr., who has slammed into the wall. Now that means also we watched Mile, I believe, take a slight tumble as well. Dylan has struggled. I think we just saw 4 drivers all almost ruin their cars off of just one mistake, and now Doe has to come in early into the pit lane and make an adjustment to the strategy and to the car. That was a massive moment for the bottom of the grid.
Oh yeah, it was a massive damage to the front position or spots on his car. Definitely the pit stop is a mandatory decision now. He was doing good, he was trying to make the movements, but yeah, total spin. Very unfortunate for him on the beginning of the racetrack, so you're forced to go already early onto the pit stop to get repaired. And we keep a look, an attentive look in this case, into the leading pack here. TJ, as Illegal Monkey falls a little bit more, Joseph is beginning to make his way onto the leadership, sitting at the 4th position at this point. Reinforced Circuit is too strong, so a lot of those drivers still trying to create the time gaps between one another.
Our top 7 drivers were in a chain together, but now it has been broken up into many different segments. Top Racing and Hardware are still fighting, which is only going to get more dangerous for the both of them, because Noni Dude has made the climb from falling from P1 to P6 back up to P3 and is trying to cut that gap into within a second behind Squeaky Hardware. All it takes is one DRS zone, one Sector 2 straight, and Noni Dude is going to be already back in this fight. So if you're Top Racing, you need to go fast, you need to get ahead of Squeaky Hardware, or you guys need to work together and try to keep Noni Dude way further than just arm's reach. But for the time being, it looks like Noni Dude is the faster driver, but is currently at a stalemate with the top 2 drivers, sitting at just about a second behind, but here he comes.
Yeah, here he comes. We have a train, like you said beautifully before, and these guys are so close, right? Top Racing, checking his mirror and seeing Squeaky Hardware right behind him. As we see him leading the pack, but not so comfortably like No Need Dude did in many occasions of the season, for example. So Top Racing is going to have to keep working. He is an undercutter. We saw him stopping in Silverstone, going to the pit stop way before his leading opponent, so maybe he's going to try to repeat that strategy. And he's a very balanced driver when it comes to using those tires. He loves the mediums. He begins comfortably at this point, TJ. But the difference is getting cut point after point and lap after lap when it comes to Squeaky Hardware going and getting close to him.
As the grid settles down for a second, we can talk about some of the drivers who have moved up and down. So, Bear, as we watch this fight go down, I want you to talk about how all of these drivers, I don't think there's a single person who has kept their qualifying position.
No, it has been a shakeup since the get-go, and for some better, for some worse. I'm highlighting James as one of the better. After that shakeup and bit of, chaos towards the back end of the pack, we were like, how do you escape that P13 start from James? Well, guess what? Just run a clean race. Be able to get around that first little chaos. When they fall behind you, then gain the positions. James most notably sticks out in my brain, along with Nico, who was able to ride the same kind of vibe as he's all the way up from his P16 spot to the 8th spot now, cutting the lead in half.
Well, here comes that dangerous point for Top Racing and Hardware now. They're going to keep fighting, but now because of that, we may see No Need Dude not just gain one position, but two at once. And also keep in mind that No Need Dude is on the less grippier tire and is still outracing both Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware. This is very dangerous, Lane.
Oh, yeah, it's super dangerous. And No Need Dude, with his hearts, maybe he's going to be going for that overcut strategy we talked before. He's going to last longer than his opponents. Kind of a little bit behind at this point, but I just want to mention quickly on James how dangerous he is when it comes to pit stopping with his strong opponents. So he's going to be a guy to get watched from now on as No Need Dude passes overtake rolling here versus Squeaky. Not only him, double overtake. He passes also Top Racing. Beautiful decision. No Need Dude again to his favorite spot of leading the pack.
The fastest straight in all of Formula One, of course, delivers moments like that. No Need Dude has positioned his pace and his timing beautifully, has now managed to overtake both Hardware and Top Racing on a worse tire compound. But can this move stick? I'm not sure. For No Need Dude, your job is, well, not simple, but on the simpler side. Let Top Racing and Hardware fight it out and do your best to jump ahead of Hardware while you can. But all three of these drivers are so close together, and Joseph has a 4-second gap to the rest of the grid as well. So one false move, one false crash maybe, and then Joseph can get in the mix here.
Oh, yeah, Joseph's just expecting, right? He's just waiting for his chance. He's a wolf, right? He's dangerous as much as James is, for example. Now, No Need Dude, what a magisterial movement from the P3 to a leading spot of P1 with a nice difference already, right? We're talking about half a second, which is very, very much interesting for him to manage. Now, we're going to have to see how No Need Dude's going to be managing that little ship, and we actually saw that during the entire season. So it's not going to be tough for him to, keep cool, keep calm, keep working, because the guys are right behind, but you are fast. As we see already, Top Racing giving it back on the same style.
Oh my, and these drivers are getting dangerously close, potentially going 3 wide as we make our way down the next stretch here of lap 6. Also, 24K King is our first driver to make a very bold pit strategy. Went softs for 5 laps, and now is going to be on hards for the rest of the race. But the bigger story here is, when is Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware, when are they going to decide to pit? No Need Dude is on the longer lasting tire compound, and you also know that you can potentially hold him behind for that entire time. So it's an awkward spot for all of these drivers. And now, as I mentioned, Lane, Joseph has joined the party.
Oh man, Joseph comes. Take a look at him. He is an amazing driver. Again, we have to say that he has been trying to reach these leaders, and he has doing fantastic. Now we have a chance to take a look at No Need Dude. He's totally enjoying the slipstream. He's gonna go for it again. It is a long straight. Let's see who's gonna beat who. The battle is amazing. 3 guys at this point, and right behind him you also have Joseph. keep that in mind, because No Need Dude in this case is gonna go for a potential, little touch, boom, thank you, said Squeaky Hardware, as he still enjoys the P2.
Also, Joseph had a moment. He has now fallen completely out of contention of the top 3 spots for the time being. I'm not sure if it was a crash or a spin or what, but 4 seconds have been lost, and now Illegal Monkey is hot on the tail of Joseph. So that's another fight to look out for. No Need Dude almost ruins his race early, but is able to save the car. That was an incredible maneuver.
That was good to keep that stability indeed. The mentality of a winner is precisely there, because, one mistake and you can allow a dangerous driver as Joseph to step up. As we see the penalty on the side of Reinforced to go over here, TJ, it is going to be quite a battle from now to the end.
That's a tough one for Seagull. 3-second penalty, I would imagine, due to track warning. So a tough one to look out for if Seagull does find a way to get back into contention. But here come another tough move. It's going to be Top Racing looking down the inside of Squeaky Hardware. Will have to hold off for the time being. Squeaky Hardware survives the entire back straight without getting overtaken. So 8 laps in to a 25-lap race. This is big for the Squeaky Hardware. Somebody who did not start to have their flowers given to them until the last few races. But now you got to be careful, because Top Racing has managed to defend against No Need Dude and has managed to pass Squeaky Hardware. That positioning is almost perfect. In fact, I think it is, Lane.
It is beautiful. It is perfect. Oh, man, what a battle. What a continuous fight for the leadership, as we see Squeaky Hardware already overtaken by Top Racing. It's so close. It's so close between them. I was just going to mention before that, Squeaky Hardware never won a battle, never won a GP. So maybe today for him. But again, you got to talk to a certain guy called Top Racing and also a certain buddy called No Need Dude, as we see the 3 of them fighting for the minimum spots and those long straights. They're bringing the adrenaline, aren't they, TJ? Each single straight means an overtake.
Well, here we go. There's going to be a move from No Need Dude. He's going to try and pinch Squeaky Hardware out of the way, and will be gaining a decent amount of time as well. But as you can see by the blinking lights on all these cars, there's not a lot of battery in anybody. And now Squeaky Hardware will make the move past 2, driving in, holding the inside line. Top Racing is there. We'll take a look down the inside, but we'll have to wait for now. This is a great line, though. Has a lot of speed coming down the very last straight of the lap. Are they going to be able to make a move? It's looking tight, but No Need Dude is able to hold on. Now No Need Dude will try their best to hold the inside line. Top Racing wants to go outside. No Need Dude has to forfeit the place. Around the outside is Top Racing. Can't make the move stick just yet, but No Need Dude has to concede and now falls back to P3.
Squeaky Hardware not only made the double overtake, but he did that in that very portion. The last chicane turns 15 to 17, as we see Top Racing now enjoying the long straight to pass him off. Squeaky Hardware, he was holding so beautifully in the inside line. He's fighting. He's doing so great here. DJ, it is, come on. It is the GP of the season, definitely. As we see a little bit of a spinning by Top Racing. Is that going to cost the P1?
Those tires are weak, those tires are fading, and you have to wonder, when do you decide to pit? Do you decide to go early if you're Top Racing, and then go to the hards and try and stick out the entire race, including the rest of the grid? Or if you're Hardware, do you try to stay in the middle of these 2 drivers? I believe somebody had a moment right there, but no major damage, it seems. While this fight continues to go on for the 9th lap in a row, I want to bring Bear back into conversation. Bear, when is the pitting moment for any of these drivers?
It all depends on what run you can get here. No Need Dude certainly in the best spot here. He's in this top 3. He's been in this battle, and these hard tires are certainly holding up a little bit better. But the more he fights in this moment, the more that Squeaky Hardware in Top Racing, they're going to wait it out a little bit. Get some fresh tires, perhaps toss on the hards a little bit sooner as well could be that option to get that going and make sure they get out before No Need Dude and still have that advantage on those tires. But No Need Dude will certainly go to the medium. So down the line here, he'll have that advantage. It's up to Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware to make the first move, and No Need Dude can just read it from there.
Top Racing, once again, has fallen into the back of the train that is the top 3 here. And Lane, you've already mentioned it. This is about as cinematic and as perfect as an ending to our season could be. But one thing that's also worth mentioning is that all 3 of these drivers will walk away with cold hard cash as long as they can hold these spots. So you want to win. You want to try and gain all the money that you can and all the bragging rights that you can. But you also have to keep in mind that one crash could not only ruin your race, one spin could ruin your race, it could also take you out of the prizing.
It totally can, and to just mention quickly, the beautiful point brought by Bearlight. Again, no need to totally capitalizing on those hearts. So just to respond back to your point, TJ, yes, if you are no need dude, you know it's just a matter of time. When Squeaky, Top, and Joseph go pit stop, you're gonna be able to keep and hold your leadership without having to force your resources. So that's what precisely no need dude has been doing. He has been saving the tires. He has been saving the engine. So that's why he wasn't forcing that overtake, as we see now Top Racing doing precisely that. He's trying to pass Squeaky Hardware to have kind of an edge before he goes himself into the pit stop.
It's the first time in a little bit that No Need Dude has found the timing and the pace to actually lead heading into a lap. It's only happened, I believe, 2 other times in the first 10 laps so far. So as we kick off lap 11, No Need Dude's actually starting to gain a pretty decent gap, almost making an entire second chain away from Squeaky Hardware, but you can tell that tire smoke is flashing up for a reason. A very tough moment where No Need Dude almost outbraked himself, but now here comes a dangerous moment for Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware. They are losing time desperately. If No Need Dude can break the DRS chain, the race may be over early here.
Yeah, and all of them know that they cannot be forcing pushing the tires so much as they are doing. But you know what? It's about the championship title over here. So yes, they're gonna be forcing the best they can. But as you posed beautifully again, TJ Top Racing, he's losing some time now to No Need Dude. You see that time gap growing in the favor of No Need Dude. Top Racing is apparently feeling the lack of grip isn't here, because you can see him spinning even without wanting. He goes for the apex. He does a beautiful job, but then no matter what, he's still spinning.
All of the grid on mediums, at least in the back half, decided to pit on lap 10. And now you wonder, was that the magic number that you should have decided to pit on? I mean, for Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware, they have lost an entire second, now 2 seconds on No Need Dude on these medium tires that are having a very rough time. So for them, I think you have no choice. I think you have to pit now, and you have to hope and pray that you can catch No Need Dude as the hard tires are starting to fade. And as of right now, they are going to trade positions one more time, but they both should go into the pit lane together, and if Top Racing can actually make it around Squeaky Hardware, he could actually overtake him in the pit lane. He has to give up a little bit of room, and now all the drivers will come close. You can't take a penalty here. You have to be careful not to go spinning out, and they almost go into the wall, but both drivers will not take a penalty. Joseph will pit with them as well. So now for No Need Dude, here comes your most important point of the entire GP. You have to be faster than the rest of the grid.
Yeah, you have to. And I love the decision on Squeaky, Top, and Joseph, because, the time gap between Joseph and James is massive, which means that these guys that I just mentioned are going to be able to uphold within the top 5 in this occasion. Now, for No Need Dude, he totally goes into a very, very dangerous zone because he's going to have to stop sooner or later. Illegal Monkey, is the natural P2 hair in this occasion, because he was just waiting for the rest of the leading pack to go into the pit stop. Now we also have to talk about TJ, James, and Nico Bico. They're just waiting for a chance as well to pit stop and then also try to keep seizing the leading spots.
Well, they tried to make an overcut strategy, but those mediums have to be struggling by now. I can't imagine that they're doing well, so when they pit, they're going to lose a lot of time to the rest of the grid. Also, 24K King has to survive on those hards for the rest of the race for there to even be a sliver of a chance at a top 3 or any podium spot in general, or even top 5 in this race. So we'll have to see how that goes. Also, Saturn, I believe, has accidentally put on the wet intermediate tires, so that could potentially be a race ender. And now, as you can see, both him, Dylan, Mao, and Doe are all struggling at the bottom. They're almost a minute behind No Need Dude. So for all of them, the strategy to the top has to be something out of a movie, something that only a storybook can really draw up, because now we have to focus on the realistic goals, and that is Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware, who need to work together to gain as much time as possible so that when No Need Dude comes around to pit, they're able to either overtake or get right back in the fight for the rest of the race.
And that can happen. But now we have to talk about the speed, how fast No Need Dude. He is one of those drivers that can definitely save resources and still make it up into the top. He has shown that before to us. Now, I have just to mention, TJ, quickly, that the entire grid here is very mature, right? All of them have definitely learned how to stop, when to stop. You can see that almost all of them are going to be 1, max 2 pit stoppers, going to the pit stop, excuse me, 1 or 2 times. That's what I meant, except for Doug Jr., who was involved in an incident earlier today. But, other than that, the guys are definitely going for those hards. As we can see, the endurance is going to be the name of the game definitely tonight. And you were correct, TJ, on that matter, right? The compounds are going to be the hards. They need that endurance.
All of the drivers have made their decisions to pit other than No Need Dude and Illegal Monkey. And Illegal Monkey has lost 2 seconds on No Need Dude. So now the next major question comes up of how long can No Need Dude really nurse those hard tires to extract the maximum lap time out of them? I'm not sure, but maybe our on-track man has the answer. Mr. Bearlight, what do you have in store for us?
No panic attitude right now from No Need Dude down here as he does come to pit now. He was able to maintain that same gap, even with tires that started to warm up. The hards from Squeaky, Top Racing, and Joseph Loves Dogs. But he's down in the pit lane with me now as he switches the hards to mediums, as is to be expected, of course, as he comes down the pit lane. But guys, Illegal Monkey will stay out and take the race lead.
Here comes Squeaky Hardware and Top Racing as well. They are not far behind, and look at the play from No Need Dude. By 0.5 he is able to play his cars perfectly and will still retain the future P1 spot. But now the Legal Monkey has to make a decision. If you're telling me that about an 18-second gap is what it took Hardware to get back to No Need Dude, that means Legal Monkey is in not only a rough spot to lose Ps 1 through 3, but maybe even P5 to Joseph as well. But No Need Dude has done the hard part. You've survived the first stint of your strategy, and now you have cold but better tires for the next 11 laps, Lane.
What a strategy. This is looking to be our champion today. I don't want to jump into conclusions, but hey, he's doing everything he should. To be very fair, he totally went for it with the hards. He was very fast. He kept them hard and warmed up in this case. So now going for the mediums. And I have to point out, TJ, that this is the first time in the season that No Need Dude goes for a strategy of hards and then mediums. And he's already killing it. He's just doing so great and so nicely here. As we see the battle warming up again as well. No Need Dude falling into the P4 because those guys behind him were already kind of, more into the tune.
Well, here we go again. We got 10 straight laps of these 3 going at it. And now we're going to get hopefully another 10 after an incredible call from No Need Dude to stay out and set a fast lap time. And now Illegal Monkey has made the decision to pit. We'll have to see how far down the grid they end up, and it looks like it will be P5. So Illegal Monkey stayed out for the extra lap, lost a lot of time. So for No Need Dude, based off of their own lap times and their own strategy, I think they played it absolutely perfectly.
Yes, they did, and let's see how far that's gonna take them, because as we can see, he's so close. Now, No Need Dude versus Top Racing, absolutely capable of forcing those tires and, again, doing the overtakes. Let's see if he's gonna be choosing this next long straight over here, or if it's gonna be the next one. It's going to be so cool to see the third sector over here, TJ. It's gonna become a painful portion of the racetrack for Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware, but it's gonna be, bringing smiles from No Need Dude as he is so close. Again, less than a second. It's an amazing gap if you're still just 10 laps away from the potential victory.
For No Need Dude, the strategy is simple. Just stay in contention with the 2 other best drivers across the entire grid. And then when your moment is right, when the DRS is right, when the laps start to get down to the single digits, then you need to start making your moves. You have the better tires. They're going to be hot in the next lap or so. And all you're counting on is Hardware and Top Racing to struggle. Once we start hitting lap 20, lap 21, potentially as late as lap 23, that's when those hard tires are going to start giving out. But also these medium tires, they started to struggle at lap 8, lap 9, lap 10. So for No Need Dude, how long do you stay complacent? I'm not sure here, Lane.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge for him indeed. Keeping the quality. He's going to be able to use those tires to maybe overtake if he needs to. Because as you're saying, Squeaky Hardware, Top Racing, with a better capacity, let's put it this way, to, stay up ahead. Now, only time will tell as we see Squeaky Hardware fighting against Top Racing to, try to catch up on that time. And Top Racing still leading the pack beautifully now, doing the best job he can. carrying that momentum from the last GP. I'm going to say it again. To today in Las Vegas, as the touch was possible, no contact apparently, and they're going to still be very much close from this point on.
It's a beautiful line from Squeaky Hardware, who genuinely is out racing Top Racing there in Sector 1, getting into Sector 2, and now here they come again into the longest straight on the entire track and the entire calendar. DRS will be fully activated, and we could potentially see another double move for No Need Dude, but we must see Squeaky Hardware make the move first. No Need Dude is getting close on the quicker tires, is within a tenth of Top Racing, and they are going to get close, but no major move is made just yet, and Top Racing is actually defended against No Need Dude. You can see a lot of red blinking lights. These drivers are struggling to manage that ERS alongside the DRS and survive the race, but now worth mentioning as well, they're all three about to hit traffic together. So for Hardware, you can actually use Mao, you can use Saturn as pawns for your strategy and actually place them between you and the other drivers and gain extra time.
You absolutely can, and I'm going to try to complement your amazing comment, TJ. Squeaky Hardware, Top Racing, and No Need Dude on that matter, already locking themselves up as the potential real title contenders here for the season. As we see Joseph struggling behind, he's falling on time. So I don't know if Joseph's going to be able to, catch up or reduce that amount of time gap within the next laps, as we see Top Racing still fighting to keep the leadership. As you said, those last drivers, those last cars are going to be also playing a role here.
It looks like that Saturn is actually beautifully positioned to be a wall here on the final straight. So this could not only be wonderful for Top Racing, it could also work out for No Need Dude, who may try and pass Hardware. But depending on what happens here, things are about to get pretty tight here. Now, granted, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to actually catch Saturn this time around, but they are outpacing Saturn. So for Saturn, what do you do here? Do you maybe have some under-the-table money that maybe No Need Dude or Top Racing have sent you? Maybe you let yourself lag back and make things interesting? Or what they should do is stay out of this madness. You do not want a piece of the thousands of dollars, the $4,000 to be specific, that these three drivers are fighting for. But once again, they finish another lap directly within arm's reach of one another.
Yes, oh man, look at that. Look at that difference between Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware. And now it's all about not making a major mistake. It's all about enjoying the slipstream behind your opponent. Because, Squeaky Hardware stepped up. We all talked about No Need Dude versus Top Racing during the entirety of the season, but now Squeaky Hardware is beginning to look bright and shiner. Let's see if he's going to be able to keep that position. It is very, very tough because Top Racing is always a fast guy on the long straights. He goes again for the leadership, and No Need Dude is not crazily behind. He's still got a chance.
Hardware letting Top Racing get ahead. They're trying to, if I believe I'm saying this right, I believe they are working together now for the first time all race to try and stay away from No Need Dude. But for one last time, I do want to check in with our on-the-track analyst, Bearlight. We're coming down to the wire of our season conclusion, our championship race. Before we let you go for the rest of the race, do you have any maybe predictions you got here?
I feel like, as we eyeball No Need Dude on these medium tires, it doesn't seem to be going as well as when he was on the hards. And for Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware, it's going the opposite way. Now, they're very close in contention here. I do know it's going to be down to the wire. These three should be within a second of each other. I don't see a runaway happening, especially the way that these drivers like to battle. Plus, in the championship, you know that they're going to play defensively. And right now, you see No Need Dude jump into that second spot, so perhaps now is his time to strike.
No Need Dude has finally made the first move of two. They have gotten the spot back from Top Racing, but now as the hard tires maybe start to slowly fade off, and as the medium tires start to, I would say, quickly fade off, which driver can actually nurse them long enough for them to be used to their absolute maximum value? For No Need Dude, they have made so many correct strategy calls this season, but those mediums, I know for a fact, will start to fade as we get to the end. So if No Need Dude can't gain P1 and is stuck in this fight between the hard tire drivers, it could be cinema for Top Racing and Hardware, who are on the stronger tires at the very end, unless they can't manage them well. So again, I keep bringing up that story point, but that's because I truly don't know the answer here, Lane.
Yeah, none of us know actually the factual answer to this very, very amazing and important question, to be honest, because I would say, technically speaking, when it comes to compounds, No Need Dude, Squeaky Hardware, and Top Racing are in the same condition. The mediums are going to also fade, as you said. But again, Top Racing, Squeaky Hardware are going to be able to keep those resources. Now it's suddenly a matter of defending better, right? Trying to save your elements and your car itself for the very late portion of the racetrack, because you don't want to go to the pit stop anymore. So it is about fighting 4 seconds without forcing too much the car. Of course, it's worth the championship. And let's say Top Racing now a little behind. He's on the P3. He's going to be able to catch up. Very close again. Those turns always making a difference.
Here we go. No Need Dude for the first time since pitting and since losing the first spot is now back up to the top, but has to worry about Squeaky Hardware here. I mean, we talked about No Need Dude waiting for their moment to break away from the grid. It's not going to come just yet. With just about 5 laps to go, No Need Dude is getting in a worse and worse spot by the minute. And here comes Top Racing as well, right on the tail.
Right on the tail. Oh, yeah, this is going to be beautiful. Less than a second. And, oh, man, look at that. No Need Dude right between them. He's going to be able to hold off to Top Racing and still catch up to Squeaky. That's going to be the $1 million question as we have the train. The leaders come, and they come together. And each small element and second is going to be decisive.
Well, all we can do now is just lock in with these 3 drivers and worry about the rest. This is the first time all season that we have had not only one driver, but multiple drivers overtake, or overlap, lap in general, some of the grid. I believe Saturn, Mao, Ando Jr., and Jakai have all fallen a lap behind these 3 drivers. So that just goes to show that we have so much talent here in the Formula STEM Esports Cup, but these 3 almost have a 10-second gap to P4. And all that it takes for them to bring some money home is just to cross a line at this point. But again, first place gets $2,000, second place gets $1,250, and third place gets $750. Lane, those are massive cash differences between each spot, and all 3 of these drivers are very aware, and they're fighting tooth and nail to the death.
Oh, yeah, they are. And we see, man, that everything can change in each and every turn. So that money is going to be definitely the motivating factor here for the 3 of them especially. We see No Need Dude leading the pack yet. Minimal difference. There's absolutely nothing between him and Squeaky Hardware. It's all about being consistent. It's all about keeping the focus, not making mistakes, not messing it up in the very end. It's going to be also a tires battle as we have been posing in the last laps. No Need Dude falling again. Squeaky Hardware still leading. Anything can happen because, you know, there's some wideness. There's some space on the sides here, TJ, between these 3 guys.
Top Racing is very close to making another move on No Need Dude, looking around the outside, maybe for a switchback. It will not stick, though, and No Need Dude is able to hold the lead temporarily. Again, Top Racing is just on the tail, but as they fight, Squeaky Hardware is slowly starting to gain a little bit more time. Safety car comes out!
Oh, no.
Are you kidding me? Are you serious? This is absolute tragedy for all 3 of these drivers who now all have to make decisions on what do. Do we go to softs? Do you have time to pit? This is critical. This is crucial here, Lane.
Oh, man, it's going to be almost a reset. Now, the next guy is coming up. Going to be able to capitalize on that safety car on the very end. Just because I was going to say, TJ, that we had a kind of a big chance of seeing the safety car, you know, coming up and getting deployed. It is a dangerous racetrack, but he comes in the very end, closer to the wrap-up of Las Vegas. Amazing.
We're trying to figure out what caused that safety car. Based off what I'm seeing, I believe it was either Nico or Evan who crashed, but I'm seeing them all back to driving. So no virtual safety car, but now a bold decision has been made. The top 2 drivers have decided they're going to pit, and Squeaky Hardware decides to stay out. An extremely bold decision, reminiscent of Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen just a few years ago in Abu Dhabi. Joseph will get softs and will get to pit as well. So Squeaky Hardware is in a nightmare scenario.
He's in a nightmare. He's gonna have 3. I'm gonna say, man, 3 wolves behind him, you know, rushing and running, because it's gonna be complicated to keep his momentum there as a leader. Obviously, you know, his car is tired. He's got to stop somehow. And he's still got 3 more laps to go. Now it's going to be a battle between hards versus soft tires as well.
Well, I know we said we weren't going to hear from Bear again, but I have to bring him back. Bear, we don't know what caused this safety car, but the strategy calls have been absurd thus far.
Yeah, I was about halfway up to the booth. I had to turn around because this is just a game changer completely. So Squeaky Hardware's decision to stay out. Here's why it's not the end of the world. Is it a nightmare situation? Do you want to see this? Not quite. But as a member of a race team that's been through this entirety of this season, you've seen that the safety car stays out for about 2 or 3 laps. That means realistically when the safety car goes away, that's max 2 laps that you have to hold on. Now, Las Vegas, we've seen a lot of overtakes so far. With the soft tires, it might appear that it's going to be easy, but Squeaky Hardware knows how to fight and is very confident in his ability to stay out and make the right choice, be able to play defensively, but also be able to race to victory on a track that otherwise is tough to overtake.
Lane, there's a world where we get potentially only 1.5 laps of full green flag racing. Now, I hope we get lap 24 and lap 25, but we don't know yet. We don't know how long the safety car is going to stay out, not to mention that almost the entire grid is trying to come back and actually catch the safety car queue, which means that lap 23 will probably fade away. So we did get that analysis from Bear. He made a great point, and Squeaky Hardware, Lane, do we think he could do it for 2 laps?
Well, I need to tell you this. When it comes to finishing the GP on hards, Squeaky Hardware showed us during the season that he knows how to do it. Now, at Austria, he finished at the P4, and after that, Monza, he finished as a P10. Okay, was not as great, but again, you have to look into Austria P4 and also Spa-Francorchamps P2. So this guy knows how to stretch the hards in the end of the GP. I'm hoping to see more of that. It's going to be quite a lesson if he's able to do that.
The biggest thing I'm worried about as well is that let's say that Squeaky Hardware can't hold this position. With only 2 full laps of racing, when does No Need Do decide to make a move? And how long do you try to hold top racing back? You have 2 DRS zones with one that is infinitely more punishing than the other. That last main straight, it is almost a guarantee that you're going to get an overtake. So if you're No Need Dude, I would believe you would try to hold top racing off for at least lap 24 and then take your time, try and beat Hardware on the first DRS zone, and then just simply go as fast as you physically can from there. But how much risk can you take? I'm not sure, because now Joseph will be in contention as well. Not to mention that Joseph, who had a gap to the rest of the grid, now has both the Legal Monkey and 24K King, and James is the MVP on their back. So the entire top 7 could shuffle here. All it takes is one crash, one spin, one little wheel tap, and everything could shake up, Lane.
Absolutely. And look, for Hardware, all he wants is the extension of this safety car. Stay as long as you can, please. That's what he's saying. Now, the other guys just want to rush. They just want to fight this one even harshly. And as you said beautifully again, No Need to top racing. They just need a long straight. They know this. It's all about capitalizing on those tires, but not only them. Joseph is going to be totally enjoying potentially the DRS zone, the second DRS zone in this case in the 3rd sector. So I'm hoping to see more and more when it comes to overtaking. And not only that portion of the racetrack could be decisive, but also the first DRS zone. So let's see how things are going to be shaking up here, DJ.
Safety car will come in on lap 23.
Look at this.
Meaning that we will get 2 whole green flag full speed laps between all of the drivers and $4,000. Another last second reminder. First place brings home $2,000. Second gets $1,250. Third will bring home $750. And now we are set to be racing. The entire
Look
grid
at that, James.
is all together. P1 through 9 are all together. Crashes, bumps, is all coming through. No Need Dude has already passed Squeaky Hardware. And now with all of this chaos, top racing has fell down to P5.
He's so sad at this point. Totally dropping back as we have the intruder called James going for it. And Squeaky Hardware trying to maintain his capacities to fight this one off. Squeaky taking to the side. James comes for the P2. He's going to go for the champion. Oh my God, he's going to be able to beat No Need Dude, who's steady in the leadership.
You know how bad Top Racing wants it. He wants it so bad he just killed a driver on the grid and punted him into the wall. Another driver has gone to the wall as well. We won't see a safety car, but Hardware falls all the way down to P5, which means now James, out of nowhere, is in contention not only to win this race, but to take home money. Illegal Monkey will have to do everything in their power to try and catch up, but the biggest story of them all, your championship leader, No Need Dude, has just played the cards beautifully. A 2-second, no DRS gap to the rest of the grid. Here comes Top Racing.
Oh man, Top Racing trying to catch up. Yeah, no need to totally read it all like a book. And James was, a very opportunist driver again, making his way up into the top here. Top 3 positions. At this point, no need to do Top Racing and James. Top Racing gets back again at this very, very interesting position here. Legal Monkey also coming up and stepping up in Squeaky Hardware. He gambled, he bet on those hards, TJ, and, it was a costly decision.
Also worth mentioning as well, I believe both the Legal Monkey and James have 3-second penalties. So for Squeaky Hardware, if you can actually find a way back into a 3-second gap between these drivers, you can still be P3. You can still come home with money, but we only have one more lap to answer all of our questions. The Formula STEM Esports Cup comes down to this, and a driver's gone off. It's Mile Proto. He's in the wall, and he's out of championship contention.
Oh no, yeah, to the wall he goes, and it's gonna be the last opportunity. Now, we're wrapping the last Sector 1 of this GP, as we see James fall a little bit more to the back positions. We have Top Racing and Legal Monkey doing a very good job, and no need to beginning to look like our big champion here, TJ, because he's got 2 seconds and a half, almost 3 seconds as an advantage compared to Top Racing.
3 seconds. It looks like it may just be over, but Top Racing, if they can maybe find some form of wild line, maybe we can see Top Racing come back, but No Need Dude has done the hard work, and all that stands between them and $2,000 is just 3 more turns. No Need Dude has crossed through the chicane. Top Racing has lost the spot, but he got it back on the chicane for $2,000. Here comes No Need Dude, your Formula STEM Esports Cup champion. They've done it, and No Need Dude will try to hold this spot for $1,250. They will do it, and Monkey will do it, but Hardware's come through! The penalties fall through for $750. It's Squeaky Hardware!
Oh man, Squeaky Hardware out of the penalties given to opponent. He makes it into the podium. Fantastic job. He did it again with the hearts. Like we said before, amazing late portion of the racetrack. No Need to Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware are your champions of the season.
I cannot believe it. No Need Dude, after sitting in the back of that train for so long with the safety car, makes the perfect calls and retains championship points and the position of the entire Formula STEM Esports Cup. And as cinematic as it gets, Top Racing comes in P2. And what in the world were the penalties at the end there? Mile gets driver of the day, but I have to argue for everybody to get driver of the day, because that was the best thriller of the season, Lane.
Wow, the safety car bringing that spice, straight into the asphalt. I loved it. No Need Dude, so steady, okay, but the battles behind him were so beautiful to watch. Illegal Monkey at the very end, I was watching, he was at the P2. Top Racing was P3, and suddenly Squeaky Hardware jumps because James got penalties in this case. So it was beautiful to see that shake up, TJ. I couldn't expect for more.
It was just an absurd combination of events. I would have put my money on the race being close regardless of the safety car, but you have to wonder for No Need Dude, who was struggling to gain time on faster degrading tires. Was that the moment? Was that the move, that safety car, that gave them the championship? Well, the world may never know. All we can do is tell you what's in front of you, and it is No Need Dude, who after a near perfect, near dominant championship season has walked away with full bragging rights and is your first annual Formula STEM Esports Cup champion. And on that note, I would love to welcome all of our faces back to the broadcast, because you just listened to myself, DJ TJ. Next to me is Lane X, and also back in the booth from the track is Bear. Bear, my lord.
My goodness, guys. Thank you for welcoming me back into what was a crazy fitting finish for the Formula STEM Esports Cup presented by Brightspeed Fiber Internet. And it's somehow crazy how life finds a way. The 3 that were battling through everything early in this one, into the mid-range portion of this race, and then through the chaos of the last little bit where it looked like everything was shooken up at its core, they remain your top 3 podium finish winners. So there you have it. After 8 weeks, countless laps of the fiercest racing we've ever seen. We have ourselves our winners. Finishing third and taking home $750. Congratulations to Squeaky Hardware. In second place with $1,250, well earned from, of course, Top Racing and the champion of the inaugural Formula STEM Esports Cup, standing tall with $2,000 in scholarship prizing. Once more, the man in your predictions, Lane and TJ. It's No Need Dude. And TJ, a valiant effort. Everything seemed to work from his strategies, pitting to the very end. He just did a fantastic job.
This race came down to mere tenths. That moment, I believe it was lap 13. Or sorry, you have it written down, Bear. I did not write it down. But whenever we saw No Need Dude decide to go in the pit lane, by the time that they came out, it was lap 14, I apologize. Whenever he came out, he was literally only a car length ahead of both Top Racing and Squeaky Hardware. There's only one turn, there's maybe one extra second on the gas pedal, maybe 1/2 second on the gas pedal, that stood between No Need Dude and losing that spot, potentially losing even more than just those first 2 spots. I don't know how better of a script we could have had, but I think that was the best potential ending, and a major congratulations to No Need Dude. Everything, as you mentioned, was played perfect down to the second, down to the millisecond.
Yeah, what a season, what a finale, what a call from No Need Dude as well. And a shout out to the rest of the final grid as well. Of course, Joseph loves dogs. It feels bad to go out of that podium, but to get the 4th place finish, pretty strong. And a top 5 for the birthday boy as well. 24K King able to finish out in the 5th spot. Illegal Monkey with the penalty all the way down to 6th spot at the end of the day here today. But it has been that crazy journey from introducing real-world STEM career pathways to crowning your first ever champion. The Formula STEM Esports Cup has delivered on every front. We want to thank our partners at Brightspeed Fiber Internet and the incredible team at Stay Plugged In for making this vision a true reality and for helping shape the future of education through esports. And to the students, educators, fans, you're the driving horse behind everything that this program stands for. A big shout out to each and every one of you as well. The Formula STEM Esports Cup returns in fall 2025, bringing new challenge, deeper STEM experiences, and another shot at greatness. Until then, Lane X, DJ TJ, and myself, Bear Light. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at the starting grid next season. Take care.
Ah, come on. Come on. Before I switched to Brightspeed Fiber Internet, things like slow speeds and random dead spots really brought out the troll in me. I mean, I spent hours causing trouble. But then I switched to Brightspeed's fast, reliable fiber internet, and the rest is sunshine and unicorns. Looks amazing, Barbara.
Ultra-fast, Brightspeed fiber internet. Switch to the bright side.